came up to me, she asked me what I thought on the matter of raising boys to respect women. I don't know. I think the way I've been brought up, it doesn't feel like it's of an issue in my world at all. Like, it's never been something that I've had to think about. You know, it's almost like on par with racism for me. I've never had to confront my own misogyny or anything. Like, I haven't felt like I had to. Maybe there are subtleties that are ingrained within me. I'm not sure. As my brothers all got a bit older, we had a conversation, a really difficult one actually. It was during lockdown as well, during the Sarah Everett case, about women walking alone at night and what they can do and how they can make someone feel safer that's alone at night. So then there was like a dark lane near a house that we'd cut through to get to the Morrisons, and they would take it late at night and I never would. But it was really interesting to have a conversation with them about it and realise they were actually already quite self-aware of what to do. Like, one of my brothers he's a big rugby player. When he walks, he sort of has headphones on. He's like, I'm aware I look very threatening. He told me that I'd never realised he did was he always crossed the street and moved and tried to make someone feel more comfortable, even without me kind of consciously realising it. They'd already had that thought process. Last summer, with all the campaigning and stuff, did that have a reflective moment for you at all? Yeah, so I've got a brother. I don't have a sister or anything. It's, not something I often think about. But I remember going to the pub with a couple of girls who I'd made friends with over that period, and one of them was meant to meet us at the pub, and she was making a right faff about walking in a certain direction. I was saying, why don't you just walk this way? She was really getting really anxious about it, and she came and she looked really rattled when she actually got to the pub. It was the whole thing of she felt like that route could have been threatening for her because it was dark, and that sort of surprised me because I didn't know what all the fuss was about. I just didn't understand. I was like, why are you being like this? Since thinking about it, there have been times in the past when I've heard people talking about things that have happened to them. I'm talking about women here, and it's almost like it's something that's everywhere but no one sort of sees. Again, I think that's why it's so important that people have started talking about their experiences more. I had the thing where that was going on with the Sarah Everett case, where you couldn't avoid it. So then my mum was like, I feel like we should talk about this because it was everywhere. And I wasn't sure what my brothers were seeing about it. And I was just so hyper aware that I had some sort of responsibility towards making sure that they were aware of what that impact was. And like, I told them for the first time about stuff that's happened to me that they didn't know about. I work in a bar, harassment's a fairly regular part of my life, as sad as that is. Sounds insane to me. Like, I don't even understand how it's a thing like that. Yeah, I think them seeing that and seeing me open up about that then made a difference, and seeing how that affected me, despite the fact that I am bossy older sister, quite confident around them, but still seeing that despite that I had these issues, or I wouldn't do certain things because of it. I mean, do you remember any conversations your mum had with you in particular about women and as you got to teenage years? No, that's the thing. I don't know what my mum's been talking about, but I just don't remember it being a topic of conversation particularly. And I don't remember it in education either. Oh yeah, I don't remember any of it happening in schools. This is what's surprising, is it seems to be a big part of women's lives, this fear that they have, justifiably. It doesn't seem to enter the lives of men so much. Like, we're just so much less aware. And it's clearly something that is cropping up. Yeah, it's surprising to hear. Yeah. But it's like you said, like, of all my friends or girls that I've known throughout the years that have had stuff happen to them, I don't think I've seen any person ever brought to justice or had any consequences for their actions. It's just something that you then process privately with your friends. Yeah, it's almost seems to be something that needs to be covered in schools at an age where they're getting that sex education anyway. I don't remember talking about rights and wrong ways of treating women in schools. There's a lot of talk at the moment about, women getting spiked in clubs and things. I think young men think it's acceptable, some of them, that it's something that they've heard someone else has done, they end up trying it. So the people doing this, well, I'm sure they do know it's wrong, but are they worried that they're going to get caught? I don't think they're worried, because it seems to be everywhere. I don't know.
Yeah, it's around, and there does seem to be no fear. Like, even when we at work, where I've had issues, people get chucked out or whatever, told to leave, but rarely past that is anything done. Like, police won't really be called or anything, because they won't come out there in enough time, and they don't have any evidence. So it's just sort of accepted. The point being, back to what you said earlier, I think is really important, is talking about it at that young teenage age, where it first sort of becomes a thing and you're unsure. And I don't know, I'd like to think, as I said before, that my brothers are aware of that, especially as they go up into the world and they're like 18 and they're going out and they're drinking and stuff like that.
Well, I think what's really clear for me is our upbringings do have an effect on the way you view the world.
Carl and Mary. It's quite a thing to have charted this last decade.